Hey, yo, what's up, guys? Your boy South Central, man. If you guys could get me to 5,000 subscribers, man, I would greatly appreciate that, man. I've been gone for a minute, been putting in that work. All right, I'm closing on the house. I'm very happy, man. I came a long way, man. Came a long way. Been to prison, game bang. I made it out, bro. I did a lot of things, and I course correct. Okay, and I said all that just to say this, that I'm not better than anybody. Okay, if I could do it, then you could do it. There's no excuse. It's hard to get better. It's easy to keep doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results, right? Because it's comfortability, and most of you guys got to feel uncomfortable to make a change in your life, and it's okay to feel uncomfortable, man. But if you can, guys, liking will go a long way for me. So today we got this foolishness that I thought that Trump took care of, but I guess you still got individuals out here that think crazy, that think nuts. That's just my opinion. And let me know what you guys think. But honestly, I think that women created this issue. Honestly, I just believe that women created this issue upon themselves, and now we're fighting for women to get they womanhood back because men are trying to steal it. Right? If you know, like I know, you know. And I believe that women need to be protected. And I honestly believe that women should be protected from themselves, because I don't know anybody that will put up with that outside of women and beta males. I honestly don't understand how this has even still been a conversation. But I mean, it's good enough for content, correct?
This is kind of where this started. Is there any nuance for you? Because to me, entering in a conversation like with you, it's easier for me because you are allowing nuance. And it sounds to me as if you're not allowing that.
Why is that?
Your immediate response, I think it was really clear where you're at in comparison to Emily's. I think am I off by
I don't
that?
think you're off.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you that I don't understand your lived experience, because I've never lived an experience as a man or
I'm not living an experience
a
as a man,
trans
friend.
person.
And I just want to be clear to everybody in this room
Too low vibration.
that I was invited here as a woman. So if we're going to engage in a conversation with each other, I would appreciate the respect of being talked to as a woman for this conversation. You don't have to agree, but I'm not going to be in here and being talked to that way, because we were invited here all as women. Be
You were
clear.
actually invited here as a trans
Yes,
woman.
trans
And
woman.
when
That's
you
called a
have to put-
distinguisher, friend.
What does it truly mean to be a woman? In today's episode of The Bridge, conservative women and trans women come together for a raw, honest, and respectful conversation about identity, gender, rights, and roles in society. This isn't about winning an argument. It's about listening, sharing, and finding the human stories behind the headlines. Welcome to The Bridge.
Hi, my name's Chrissy. I am a trans woman, obviously, and I'm in nursing school, just here to kind of say what I need to say, talk, and defend the girls as usual.
Hi, my name is Scarlett. I identify as a transsexual, and I'm just here with the girls for moral support.
Hi, I'm Blossom. I'm a powerful trans woman. You already know. And I'm here with my beautiful sisters, here ready to engage.
Yes, hello, I'm Stassi. I am a trans woman here to hopefully have a conversation with you guys, a good one.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys, gals, whatever.
Girl, you're good.
Everybody.
Don't worry.
My name's Emily. I'm a political media personality. And yeah, here to talk. Okay, yeah, I can put myself in the Republican conservative box.
Hi, my name is Kristen Nicole. I am a conservative Christian woman, and I currently serve as the president of the Orange County Young Republicans, and I live in Newport Beach.
Hi, I'm Angelina. I would also put myself as a conservative Christian. I'm a senior in college, and yeah, I'm just interested to learn more today.
Hi, my name is Jewel. I would put myself in the conservative box as well, but I am very middle ground, and I love to hear everybody else's perspectives before coming to my own conclusion.
Womanhood is defined by biology.
So right off the bat, the question is it is it going exactly how you thought it was? Like this the thumbs down on a regular ass question. I knew how this was gonna go, bro. And it seems like to me these men in dresses tried to bogart their way into womanhood. And then if you don't agree with them, they gonna use shaming words. And they tried it a little bit in the beginning too. Like, well, this watching the preview, she was saying that, well, I got this vibe from you, right? Right, girl, right, girls, guys with dresses. They're like, yeah, 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 yeah. So a lot of times they bully their way into making you agree with them. Not that you truly agree with them or they got good points. It's just that they bully you in a way to make you feel bad, or it's just not good publicly if you're a public figure.
So my take on the whole woman is defined by biology is I just kind of feel like the debate is very redundant. I mean, you can say like, oh, trans women aren't biological women, but then also still say you should still treat them as women and we should still be treated as, just a normal woman. I mean, like I said, the whole point of going back and forth of this terminology is just there's no real point. And the people who disagree, it's very unlikely they're ever going to change. And the people who already agree on it, it's very unlikely that they're ever going to change. So people should just kind of like, I just feel like the argument's sort of pointless at this point.
I kind of feel the same way. Like I just have a very different viewpoint on what womanhood encapsulates, like in terms of like everything. I think it's very I just don't think it's right to like make snap judgments like that about a situation that maybe you don't know like what my experience in womanhood is. Like just like maybe I don't know what yours is.
So you don't need to be biologically born a woman in order to experience womanhood. That's what you're basically saying. So anybody could experience womanhood, like a fish or something like that, right? Or like a dog, or like it feels like they're moving the goalposts to fit the narrative that they want to push out, right? Forget biology. It's about what I define as womanhood because I feel like this, right? And to me, it's mind blowing how a person could live their life knowing that they something that they not, and try to convince themselves and others around them to just agree with it, just because it makes them feel better. Everybody has a rebellious phase and don't want to be a part of society and want to seem special. And I think this is what, to me, this stemmed from, but people took it too far. Like, all right, bro, I get it. Like you don't want to be a part of the social norms, but biology, you willing to go to bat with biology to enforce your viewpoints. That's called crazy. That's called crazy. Like, and in order for me to believe you, I have to set aside biology to agree that you have experienced womanhood, knowing that you got a male genitalia that you stand up and pee. But you telling me that you just like my mom in a certain way just because you feel like that, even though you never had experienced that in your life. That's nuts. That's nuts. I can't believe that we even give these people like even a conversation. Like usually people like this back in the days would have been in a nut house or something like that until they figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Feel that snap of like making womanhood depend on biology just feels wrong to me.
I believe it's 100% biology. I believe from the second I was born as a woman to when I die as a woman, that entire journey, as difficult and beautiful as it is mine. So it's always going to be different. But I believe every step of the way is affected by the fact that I was born a woman, I'm a woman, and I think it's very beautiful and sacred. And I would just never want that to be something that someone could just claim, I guess. So yeah, I think my whole journey will be because I'm a woman.
Well, what if I told you that's my experience? From the moment I could even form thoughts, I was a girl, like always has been, always will be. I was verbalizing that I was a a woman or girl from the moment I could speak. So honestly, I relate, like, because I feel the same way. While your experience might look a little bit different than mine, I feel the same. I was always a girl, was always a woman, am a woman now. And I think that things are harder to define rather than just looking in that like black and white box of, oh, it's biology, oh, it's not biology, because I think that really confuses what my experience is and also what you said, kind of like how different yours is.
So where's the empathy for the real women? Like, where's the empathy when it comes to your fellow womenhooders? Like, that says that, hey, man, I experience real womanhood. No, 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 no. Like, I experience the same thing as you. Scoot over, right? Scoot over. It's sick, bro. It's sick. The fact that she tried to explain that the fact that he tried to explain that he been a girl his whole life, even when he was a young child, knowing that he was a girl. Are you saying that there's a such thing as a gay baby? Like a gay baby, like you just born gay, right? What are you trying to tell me? Like, you were born gay. You knew you was gay when you hopped out the womb. How could we even prove that? Like, or just scratch that. Have you ever seen a straight baby? Right? I never seen that. I just never seen a straight baby or a gay baby. I just never seen that. I think these behaviors are taught, and they're also pushed through propaganda and the sick individuals around you to push something in front of you, knowing dang well it would never be true, and it ain't true. Okay, I want you to think about that, and to say that, and if you agree that you've seen a gay baby before, and that you've seen a straight baby before, you have to admit in some way that you're hypersexualizing the child, because how would you know that anyway? Like, how? Because they have gay tendencies? Are they looking at you a certain way? Like, are they like to me, I can't even fathom that. So for you to say when you were born, you just knew this is like sick. This is stupid to me. Stupid. It's hard to think like y'all because I have to just play mind games. I'm not with that.
I'd have to disagree with that. I have lived a woman experience, but you never truly have had a lived experience as a woman. You have to think about biology, chromosomes.
Embarrassing story, but my car broke down and I didn't have the money to fix it. A friend told me she got a $5,000 loan.
Hormones. You can't discount biology in reality. If you feel like you've had a lived woman experience, that's not rooted in reality. You actually don't.
That's your opinion.
That's exactly what I believe.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, and I absolutely disagree and completely believe the opposite. So like, I can already see where this is going, like bringing in like spirituality. I've kind of just gotten the vibe a little bit, and like I'm not on that same playing field.
But how could you truly know what it is to have a lived experience as a woman if you weren't born as a woman?
Yeah, how could you know what my experience is as a woman if you've never been in my shoes?
But you don't.
But I've
also
been
know,
a woman my whole life.
But respectfully, you also don't know what it's like to be a trans woman. And I think that we get too comfortable reducing trans women down just to their genitalia. Because let's be clear, when we talk about the experience of being a trans woman, it does not start with biology. It starts with gender identity, gender expression, and how we socially show up. My womanhood is not a threat to your womanhood.
You see what I'm saying? Bogart. It's what I believe. It starts here because I said so, right? You give these weirdos power, right? These men in wigs power. Now they dictate what womanhood is. They dictate where it starts at. They dictate the thought of womanhood, right? Because it's just the thought. It's not about biology, right? Let's exclude that because I can't argue with biology. What I can argue with is my own thoughts. You can't tell me what I believe because guess what? I believe that. That's in my brain. So now we're fighting against what you believe opposed to what I believe outside of biology, because once you exclude biology, it's easy to play mind games. What type of chromosomes do you have? No, skip the chromosomes because I want to make my argument very indecisive when it's plain and simple. It doesn't need to be this hard to understand things. And I'm a just oppose this from working in the trades, okay? When you overthink things and make things seem harder than what they are, you have a hard time. How about you simplify stuff and keep it simple, stupid? Just keep it simple. Let's go back to biology. Let me just point out the fact that most people get angry about people saying they from a city and state that they're not from. Like, I'm a New Yorker. I ain't never been to New York. I ain't from New York. I ain't been raised around New York, but I watch a lot of New York videos and I feel like I got the New York experience. I'm from New York now. Put my Timbos on and you more likely to get stumped out from feeling like you from somewhere you're not from, other than claiming a gender, a sex that you're not. Claiming womanhood, something that's very sacred. Having children, bearing children, creating family, creating the next generation. Taking that away, you more likely to get stumped out from saying you from LA, right? And you ain't never been, or you don't got no ties to LA. You more likely to get stumped out from that than playing like you're a woman and you're a man with a wig on and a dress. Come on, man, this is crazy.
I actually agree with you. I have a similar way of thinking of, like, I was born this way, I will die this way. My experience is very sacred, and that's why I'm in alignment with all of you here to be able to share that. I just think that certain groups, certain people love to use the conversation around biology, but we don't want to talk about the nuances of biology. There are some women, some cis women, who look more masculine than trans women. And does that take away from their womanhood? So I really think that we really have to open up and expand and broaden on what it is to be a woman.
Or like intersex people. Like,
by the way, I respect your opinions, but I 100% do agree with her. Most likely we do. I feel like that's almost like me being like, oh no, your experience is like a paraplegic. Like, I'm totally there and feel for you. It's like, how could I even say that? That's, to me, I feel offended being like, yeah, no, I've totally been there. Like, we agree to disagree because you haven't. And
I would argue that maybe our experiences are more similar than you would think. Like, really, how I've been exposed to certain things, and even as somebody who had not come out as a trans woman yet, I was going through experiences that women go through. And that may not resonate with you, but it's not really your place to tell me what I experienced and what I didn't.
Yeah, I was born a woman. Everything about me is a woman. All the hardships I go through every second of every day, being a woman, going through, I don't want to talk about too much personal stuff just because I am a public figure and most of it's extremely traumatic, that I think probably every woman goes through. But just from being a little girl, going through puberty, being around men, I've been in LA, was going out at a young age, through dealing with health issues, periods that send me to hospitals up until this day, hormone issues, constantly dealing with also being a public figure and my image and all these things. It's just so difficult. Sometimes I'm like, the fact that we work is so crazy to me because what I emotionally go through 24/7. I've dealt with cervical cancer, which has been the most traumatic thing I've ever gone through, multiple times, multiple surgeries. Women's healthcare is genuinely medieval. It makes me sick. I am very pro-woman. I hope that comes across. And I'm just like, my entire journey, my hormones, what I was born at, my biology makes me who I am and takes me on this journey. And I just always want that to be something respected because I really feel for women.
So basically what she's saying is that her hormones were given to her at birth. She's not taking pills to get those hormones, all right? It's not fugazi. It's not fake. It's not fiddled with. This is an actual woman given to, it's a woman here. You're taking pills to get those experiences. You're chopping off body parts to try to get those experiences that you'll never get. Okay, it's just a fiction of your imagination, and you think that's the experience, but you'll never get that. All right.
What we go through is just, thank God I am in this country. If I was somewhere else, there's always room for nuance. I do agree. I totally understand a different perspective I can respect it. I just might not agree with that, but I don't want that to be like, oh, I'm shutting you down as no and I'm right. Because I don't want it to be that. I just want it to be like, this is just my journey. And the older I get as a woman, I'm 31, I want to get married, I want to have kids, and I see what women go through with having children. I just think we are like the most like magical creatures, and I just want that magic to remain, if that makes sense. I just think it's really special.
I would say where I feel like a lot of overlap does come in between lived experiences is between, you know, societal, like living how society views you. You know, no one is sitting here thinking she is a man in any capacity, you know? So when she's walking
I mean,
around,
we are.
everyone's thinking,
And so-
You go Bogart again, telling us dictating what we think. Nobody's thinking. I'm thinking that for sure. I'm telling you, yeah, that's a boy. That's the boy with a wig on, gang. Huh? Who you playing with? Stop. That's the boy. You guys are all boys. We're all thinking that. In your brain, you're not thinking that because y'all are a figment of y'all own imagination. Right? Y'all can't call everybody crazy around y'all and think y'all the only sane ones. That's a big fight, guys. That's a big fight. You drive yourself crazy thinking like that. You might as well come to realization and understand what you are and be the best man you can be. You know?
Who are you, by the way? I don't look at you guys.
No,
I'm like,
don't
dude,
worry.
it's like, no.
yeah. And,
No,
you know,
like genuinely, that's what I was like, what's up, ladies?
But when we go out and like, let's say, you know, no one knows, you know, we have our names changed and everything. When we go on a job application, you know, we're going to be applying basically as a woman. So we're going to be treated as a woman. You know, when we walk out of the house, you're going to be treated and seen as a woman. So I think in societal standards, there is definitely some overlap. But I will say, I also agree to the point of there are experiences, you know, none of us could ever understand when it comes to womanhood. And when it comes, yeah, and you know, but I feel like that's
Thank
also
you.
where
I
it
think
comes
that's
into
actually really
the,
respectful.
yeah, that comes to the uniqueness of like trans womanhood, you know, growing up trans, living trans, you know, just in the same way I'll never know what it's like to grow up and, you know, have my first period or anything like that. You know, none of you would ever know what it's like to grow up and know you're one way, but physically, you know, see it in another way. And then to live that, you know.
And I guess I kind of want to direct my question back to you since this is kind of where this started. Is there any nuance for you? Because to me, entering in a conversation like with you, it's easier for me because you are allowing nuance. And it sounds to me as if you're not allowing that.
Why is that?
Your immediate response, I think it was really clear where you're at in comparison to Emily's. I think it's, I mean, am I off by
I
that?
don't think you're off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you that I don't understand your lived experience because I've never lived an experience as a man or
I'm not living an experience
a
as a man
trans
friend.
person.
And I just want to be clear to everybody in this
Too
room
low vibration.
that I was invited here as a woman. So if we're going to engage in a conversation with each other, I would appreciate the respect of being talked to as a woman for this conversation. You don't have to agree, but I'm not going to be in here and being talked to that way because we were invited here all as women. Be
you were
clear.
actually
Boy, please. I ain't going to hell for you. I am not going to hell for you. You are a boy, Damon. You are a boy, Damon. Stop playing with people, man. Like, here it go again. That's the Bogart of forcing people to believe what you're not. Okay, you came there as a woman. I'm sorry, the producer lied to you. Like, is it my fault that they lied to you? You should talk to the producer and say, "Hey, why you tell these people that I'm a woman, knowing damn well I'm a man?" I feel better. I feel better doing that, man. You should go to the boys' bathroom, man. We allow. Okay, at this point, I'll keep you away from our daughters. I'll allow you in the restroom. Yeah, we might think you weird a little bit, but at the end of the day, that's where you belong. You belong with us. Stop playing with these women, man. Stop. All right. Your experience is not womanhood. Your experience is being crazy and thinking that the world is crazy. All right. You're crazy. To believe something that you're not and wholeheartedly believe it and have a think group around you who think the same thing as you. But the world shows you biology and it shows you your chromosomes and you still don't believe it. It's nuts. Nigga, you gotta be you good. You should be in the nuts Olympics because you'll win. You'll win. Top one.
invited here as a trans
Yes,
woman.
trans woman.
when
That's
you
called a
have to put-
distinguisher, friend.
When you put trans or another word in front of woman, it's not actually a real
Tall
woman.
It
woman?
describes the woman.
Short woman?
It's an adjective.
You don't
It's
have
an
to
adjective.
do that for
Trans
a
woman
woman.
is a type of woman. And that goes under the whole umbrella of what womanhood is. But going back to the regular
You're right. It's like saying a nigga woman. You're a nigga man. You're a nigga woman. You're a boy girl, right? You just yeah, boy girl. That's what you are. No fuck, bro. Stop. Why is there so much mental games with y'all? Y'all need to be in a loony bin. It's like it's like putting a mic next to they loony bin and hearing them talk. What the fuck?
The whole question around biology. Like I said, you want to open up the conversation for nuances. So what do we say to women who have naturally higher testosterone levels, who look more natural, who look more masculine because of something that we call genetics? Because
I'm sorry, guys. I got to keep stopping this because I hate when people move the goalposts. That ain't your fight. So why are you even bringing it up? Why? It's like a woman going to the abortion clinic and saying, yeah, but what about women getting raped? That has nothing to do with your circumstances. So why are you bringing it up? You using other people's plight to justify your actions. But it has nothing to do with you. Nothing. Yes, there are masculine women, but you're not a masculine woman. You're a man. Why are you bringing them up? It's being disingenuous. You're trying to prove an argument with nothing. Okay, great. There's masculine looking women that was born a woman that look masculine. Great. Now let's get back to you. You're a boy. Stop trying to move the goalposts to trying to justify your thinking. We don't care about that, bro. You're not a woman. This is where like it's like playing a game, playing dominoes, and a nigga losing, and a nigga want to swipe the whole dominoes up off the table. Hey, you don't get to do that, bro. You don't you gonna lose in peace. Or we gonna F this thing up. What we gonna do with it? Because you're gonna lose in peace. You're not gonna throw all the dominoes off the table because you're losing. Okay? Your argument is you're not substantiating your argument very well by bringing up other problems that had nothing to do with yours. All right? That's not the way to win. Let's get into it.
Because genetics is something that you cannot control. So do we take away a woman's womanhood because she's more masculine, because she's a tomboy? Or is she still a woman? Because like that could become a whole social construct around that. See, I think what Stassi is saying is like you have to allow like nuance to be able to flow in, to be able to understand that. Like just y'all being a conservative woman, I like to know what your definition of conservative is, because is it more just political, or is it because like you carry yourself a certain way? Do you dress a certain way? So I can understand a little bit more.
I would love to jump in on the topic of what is a conservative woman. For me, it is number one, my faith. My faith as a Christian informs every aspect of my life. And so that's going to be mainly where I'm leading through. Second is family. I think family is a really important thing to me and many conservatives. So when we talk about laws and society, many conservatives are concerned about what is going to affect the family unit. Third is tradition. Conservatives lean towards a more traditional vibe, if you will. So we're not so much about tearing apart the entire social constructs and ripping it all apart and starting new, because we value what generations before us have done and we find wisdom in that. And so it's like you're looking in a road and you see a big rock there, and some people may think like, okay, tear the rock out, build a fence, do all these things. But when you lean conservative, it's more like, okay, why is the rock there? Let's do a little bit more research behind that. Let's find out what the generations before us did about it. That's kind of where I lean. And so that's kind of what informs my conservative Christian attitude.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And can I just mention one thing? Because you're conservative more leaning,
I wouldn't
right?
call myself conservative, but I would see myself as more kind of right-leaning on some issues. Okay. The reason for that is just simply because of, not even necessarily because of like LGBT issues, because I mean, I think it's pretty obvious my stance on that, but more so when it comes to just things like, gun rights. And I'm also pretty traditionalist, surprisingly, but, when I have like my husband, I want to just have my husband, have my kids, just have my family. And I believe, as a trans woman, it's my right to do that, to be like the motherly figure, go adopt my child and, raise my family how I want to raise them and, do all that. So yeah, I guess I'm, like I said, when it comes to the whole right versus left thing, I'm kind of in the.
At this point, when it comes to y'all, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I understand women that can't have children. Great. I mean, not everybody meant to be around kids or have children, right? But y'all specifically, like, I think if you can't have kids, like, and you think this way, and you can't have them pop out of you, like, because you're a boy and you dress up like a girl or whatever, I honestly believe that we should protect kids from you, like, honestly, because you confusing the youth, right? You should look at the unaliving rate, right? The self-harm rate when it comes to children transitioning are trying to transition to a sex that they'll never be, all right, or whatever you call it, gender. You need to look up that, and it's the influences around them that keep them kids, that indoctrinate the kids into thinking like that. And I think that y'all do more harm to the next generation than do more helping, right? Because you want people to be tolerant to foolishness, right? You're not preserving their minds. You're not helping them. What you're doing is you're doing what's best for you, right? So if the kids are more tolerant, they'll accept me. You're not saying what it's doing in the back end. You don't care. You just want them to accept you, right? But the real parents see what you're doing, all right? We're protecting our children away from that mindset and from people like you, okay? So I don't think you're doing a service to children by adopting them. What I think you're doing is hurting them, all right? And I think that you should separate yourself from that, please, right? In all due respect, please do. All right, we don't need another generation of self-mutilation. All right, it's not okay. It's not okay.
But slightly right-leaning on.
And I think you bring in a little bit more nuance, and that's what I can kind of respect, even though I may not agree with everything that you're saying, or even everything that you're saying. You're allowing nuance where I feel this prompt does not allow nuance at all, because I just feel it's so black and white sometimes in the way that things are said, specifically the way that you directed your comments. I just feel it's so like close-minded, and like I can hear you. I can
Big dog, biology is black and white. Sorry.
respect that. I'm having a harder time. I'm having just a little bit harder of a time with you.
Just to give her some slack, I 100% agree with what you're saying. And I think when we're having these conversations, I mean, I have in mind, okay, you are trans individuals. Your mindset through all of this is going to be from that mindset. So if I don't completely agree with what you're saying, duh, because we're on the opposite side of the spectrum. So if you're seeing us, conservatives, some of us are Christian, you're going to see that we believe a certain way. We wouldn't come on an episode if we didn't believe strongly about that. So you gotta give a little in that situation.
I just want to also say that there are some trans women that are also Christian and that are also conservative and liberal. I'm very much more liberal. And so I think a lot of what you name, what I think the point I want to make is a lot of that can be applied to trans women as well too. And so when we understand that our liberation is actually linked or whatnot, I feel like that these conversations can become a lot more fruitful. And that's the reason why I really asked about the whole conservative thing, because I think there's different levels to conservatism. Some are more radical. It doesn't look like y'all are that radical, thank goodness. But yeah, but for what you're giving today, in this moment right now, it's fine. It's fine. And so I think it's really important that we actually ask, what is the conservative woman? And understand that there's different types of trans women. I am probably one of the most liberal, loose trans women up here on this panel, and I'm proud of that, and so some of the same traditions and values that you have, I also have. And so that's what links us together. And so I think when we have conversations around biology and chromosomes and what's male, what's female, gender identity, all of these things or whatnot, I feel like sometimes it drifts us apart because we're not willing to listen to each other and like look at the science and just understand that. And so I just wanted to bring it back to a place of unity.
I'll leave it here, and let me break it down to y'all, man, before we leave, all right? When it comes to trans people or whatever, being Christian, at the end of the day, bro, are y'all repenting for being trans? Are you repenting for that? No, you think it's right. So you're living a lifestyle of degeneracy, not repenting for your sins, because you don't think it's a sin. You think it's the right way to live, right? At least as a Christian, an unperfect Christian, a person that's trying to do better, that know what he's doing is sinful, that wants to be not of the world, right? You repent for your sins. But if you live in sin and you think that's the correct way to live, you're not a Christian, dog. You're not a Christian. Let's stop that right there. All right. And my general idea of these trans individuals, especially that the black man with a wig on, I think that person is literally leeching on womanhood, right? Y'all leeching because without womanhood, y'all wouldn't exist. So y'all have to put the trans woman. We're just another part of a woman. You're not. This is not a relationship between the two. We can just talk it out and we can see how each other feel. This is not a negotiable thing. It's not negotiable. You're a man with a wig on, bro. It's a non-negotiable. You're a man with a wig on. That's it. That's all. You can't convince me otherwise. And that's the problem with society nowadays. You try to convince us what we see is not what we see. But we see it, and we have to lie to ourselves to make you feel comfortable, right? And this is why I coined the term that I'm not going to hell for you, bro. I'm not going to lie to myself to make you feel better. Okay? That's not what we do over here. We keep it 100%, right? And if you like what I'm saying, man, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you want me to finish this video off. We can do another one, man. Thank you, South Central. We out.
We be really politicking while we whipping in the kitchen. God be my witness. At the age of 15, I was fighting my fitness. Mud like